Poetically speaking, what is life? Is life living with a purpose, or is life only existing in this world to walk through it without any emotion? Did you ever think about that? Hi, if you're new, my name is Leanne, and I'm a poet and poetry writer and novelist. And if you're new here, welcome. And if you're not, welcome back. It's nice to see you. I'm proud of you. Hope you had a good day. And I hope you had a good week. And if you didn't, that's okay too. You know, things happen, shit happens. I wanted to come on here very quick to talk about existing, poetically existing, because through my week of March break, I really thought about different stuff, and mostly my main factor that I really thought about a lot this week was existing, and the topic of just existing in a world where everything is digital and nothing's real anymore. But the only real thing that I find still has reality to it is connection, which not a lot of people do, because people are so wrapped up in everyday life. They're so wrapped up in stress and anxiety and depression and how things are not going their plan, or just negative stuff. And I have a question for you. Are you poetically living your life with purpose, or are you just walking through life just existing and nothing else? Because trust me, I get it. Like, if you're only existing through your life, I understand. Like, it is very hard to grow up in a society that we live in right now. Like, I understand, and it's very hard to live your life in such a negative world and a negative tactic of the world. Like, I can't imagine other parents raising their children now in this day and age. I am terrified to raise my own children in this world right now, and it's only gonna get worse, which see, I'm talking negative, but it's like, it's true. But I don't want to talk negatively about the world, because I find, even though the world is cruel, it's still beautiful, and it still has beauty behind it. And that's why what I try to like say all the time, or keep in my narrative, that things are the way they are because we let them, right? So if you get so wrapped up in your own thought of, okay, I don't have a choice in this, and I just go with it, and if I don't speak up, then nothing's gonna change. But if I speak up, then it's gonna be really hard for me to use my voice, right? Because a lot of people don't speak up anymore and let things happen and just, we'll deal with it, you know? We can't change the world, but we can change our perspective of how we teach ourselves how to deal with it in a healthy way. And that's what I find a lot of people don't do, is they deal with it, but in such wrong ways. Like, oh, I had a shitty day at work, I'm gonna go gamble, or, which is fine, but like, danger of gambling, that's what I mean. And, oh, I had a shitty day at work, I'm gonna make this person's day more shittier, right? And be rude to them and do this and do that, which I don't think is very nice, but, you know, not a lot of people will listen to me, which is fine, it's okay. But anyways, back on the topic of existing, I think it is very hard to keep on existing, because talk a lot about society, and I think because I notice it a lot, and I'm such an observer to it, if that's a word, fact check me on that, but if not, then I just made up a new word. But I'm such a good person at observing everything that I'm so caught up in the narrative of wanting people to get better with their lives, but then they don't change anything. But then realizing, oh, I can't change another person's mind, but I can change the way they think. Like, I can put that thought in their head and be like, oh yeah, you're right, bro. Like, are you just poetically living your life, or are you poetically just existing in your life? Because there's a big difference, right? If you talk to an 80-year-old woman, she's gonna say, oh, I did this when I was a girl, or when I was a little girl, and I did this, and I went this, and I made this, and I was a painter at one point, and now her life is probably wrapped up in a hospital bed, or in somewhere very sad, like a guest home or something. And that's what not a lot of people, especially people my age, will understand. Or it's so hard for them to understand that we are going to get old one day. We are going to have children that it's going to be our responsibility to take care of them. And then our children are going to have their own children, which means we're going to have grandchildren. And we are expected to tell them stories about how our life is, because kids are curious, right? Kids asked me for a full year straight when I was a daycare teacher of everything, of what they were curious about. Their first question was, why? Yeah, but how come? Why? So imagine if you're only poetically existing in your life right now, which is fine, because it's very, like I said, it's very hard to live in a society like today where everything is so negative, and you can't even go on the news for 5 seconds before somebody says something cruel, like, oh, someone died, or the war is happening, or something like that, and you're so wrapped up in the negative that you forget the positive, right? So someone dropped their phone, right? Digital. No, because, okay, in college now, I'm waiting for my work placement, right? Because I'm in a college class where it teaches me all about life. It teaches me about taxes, teaches me about cooking, teaches me about mental health, and how many resources there are in the world, and different stereotypes, and different disabilities that people have, and movies, and they teach us all about friendship. But the one thing that they teach us is about work placements. And what better way to have my work placement? Guess where I choose? The hospital. I chose the hospital because in my childhood, my both parents were CCAs for so many years. My dad's retired now, but my mom still works as a CCA. And I thought, what better way to get gratitude and open my eyes and make me realize of what my life is like, right? So, and I did that back in November, and it went really well. This full course, I only have 2 placements, and one was back in November, which was at the hospital, and I loved it there. Like, I absolutely adored it. But I seen a lot of stuff, like a lot of, because like I said, I'm so good at observing different things that not a lot of people would recognize or point out. So the one thing that I learned from it back in November, and my next placement is in April, so I'm just waiting for that, is that older people end up in a hospital bed after probably 50 to 60 years of working their life away, having children, getting married, doing stuff, doing their hobbies, cooking and cleaning and washing themselves even, and taking care of themselves and taking care of others and making sure that they were a good person. And they end up in a hospital bed, right? And all of that's taken away from them. And I remember one woman that, because my placement is, I'm a HSA, so which means it's called, the title for it, it's a health support aide. So pretty much I am a nurse helper. Like, I'm the second hand for the nurses. So I went into this lady's room, and mostly my placement involves checking on patients, checking on residents and making sure they have water and clean clothes, or if they have their food, or even to open their food, if they need help for that, or if they need help to get up or go to the bathroom, stuff like that. So I remember going in to a lady's room. I knocked on the door, and I'm right sweet, and I go, "Hi honey, how are you?" She turned to me and she goes, "Well, you're new, I haven't seen you before." I said, "Yes, I just started. I'm on my work placement as a HSA." She goes, "What's that?" I said, "A health support aide." She goes, "Oh, so you support us?" I'm like, "Yeah, pretty much, yeah." And she said, "Do you help with mental health?" And I said, "Well, I can help you to, like, you can talk to me about different things, but I'm not a therapist, no." And then she goes, "Oh," and then she got right sad, and I'm like, "What's wrong, honey?" She goes, "I was really hoping that I could talk to somebody about everything that I've been feeling lately about, instead of just going to a therapist." And I'm like, "Oh, well, how come? What's been on your mind?" And she went on to this long story about her life, and I just sat there and I listened, because that's what mostly my job position is just be there with them, right? So I said to her, I said, "Oh, like," and after her whole spiel of what she was talking about, I looked at her and I was like, "You are a very strong woman." Like, she talked about how many kids she raised, and that she had a husband for 53 years before he died, and how many people she used to work with, and how many good friends she had, and that she used to go on runs and grocery shopping and go to the beach. She loved the beach. And she looked at me and she goes, "I'm stuck here." 87 years old, and she's stuck there. And she said, all of that life to just end up in a hospital bed and have somebody else take care of you as their responsibility. That you can't do it on your own anymore. Someone else has to come in and help you, and they get paid for it. And I sat back in my chair and I looked at the window and I'm like, wow. Right? That's why you have to take such good care of yourself and do all the right things. But really, do you have to do that? Because you could do everything perfect in your life, and to be honest, you could probably still end up in the hospital when you're 89 years old, staring out that window and reminiscing every single memory you have, if your mind is good. The most depressed people in the world are older people, are older patients, when they end up in the hospital or end up in a guest home, and they have this certain routine that they have to follow, and every day is the same. And worst fear is to end up someplace like that. But it taught me so much about gratitude. And the one thing that stuck with me is the fact that I can go home. I can get in my car. I don't have a car yet, but I got my license though. But I can drive home and come through the door and go upstairs and either have a shower by myself or get washed by myself. And they can't do that because their bodies are too brittle, or their hands don't work anymore, or they had a stroke, or they're not too weak for it, but their bones they don't have that much strength anymore to do it by themselves. Right? So I think it was like 2 weeks after one of my days that I had at the hospital, and I came home and I was so stressed out, and I was, oh my god, I was frustrated and I was mad at certain stuff. And I'm like, okay, you know what's gonna happen? I'm gonna go take a bath. And that will probably help me, right? And so I fill up the bath, I get in, and I realize something. I'm like, holy shit. Probably every single woman that I talked to today has been craving a bath, like what I'm doing right now. To just sit in that really, really warm water and be able to get washed by themselves. I thought he shook his head, but I don't think he did. But that's a thing that I consistently think of, and I think that's when I go back, that's probably what I will realize more of, is the fact that I am so grateful for my life. Like, I went through some terrible crap in my life, like in my childhood or in my teenage years or something like that, but everything goes back to being that old woman. And I remember after my shift, I looked up and she was in the window and she was going like this. And I was so sad. I felt for her, because I can't imagine doing the same thing every single day when you get up and it's nothing's as different as it was yesterday. Right? So that's something to think about. And I kind of went off topic a little bit, but yeah, it really shocked me, and I think that's what whoever listens to this or watches this video, hello stranger if you're watching, just think about it. That's why you have to have so much gratitude in your life, because you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. You don't know what's going to happen when you're 86 years old. Right? Anything can happen tomorrow. So yeah, that's my takeaway. So yeah, my biggest question for this week, and I don't know if I will make any more videos this week or not, but my takeaway and a question that I kind of want to have on your guys' mind is that, are you only poetically existing in your life, or are you truly living your life to the fullest of what you want it to be? And everybody can be different. Some people choose to only exist, because like I said again and again, it's very hard to live in this life, and I get it, I understand, but you can't waste your life on a random day to only exist in it and not live in it. So I promised myself this video wasn't going to be too long, but I had so much to say, so I apologize. And I will try to do shorter videos, but I can't promise you on it. So I'm gonna go, and yeah, I hope you had a good week, and I hope you have a good day, and I hope you have a good day tomorrow. Everyone's different. Everyone lives their life different. So I'll You do what you want to do. Don't listen to anybody else. Right here, this mind, your mind, is powerful. You get to focus on what you want in life. You get to achieve it with thoughts and ideas from here. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy? You get to think of any idea from here. And from here. But mostly from here. Because this is the thinking cap. But anyways. My display, again, being in the college. Yeah, I think in my next video I will talk about graduation, because graduation for me is happening in June. I'm very sad about it and all mixed emotions about it. So I'll probably talk about that and then like growing up a little bit. And maybe talk about like taking responsibility on your own emotions. Maybe. I don't know. I'll do up a list of questions and things, but anyways, I'm proud of you. Have a good day. Have a good day tomorrow. And if I don't see you, what does he say?